Hello, everybody. Well, I'm gonna be on YouTube. I understand lives on Facebook are not really compatible with Facebook. People have their own jobs. They cannot watch 30 minutes lives. So I thought about YouTube. So um, on my channel on YouTube, I have two or three channels anyway. I will pick up one and post those not lives but videos. I will be doing some reading out of LRH, and mostly they should be like 30 minutes or so. Okay, so I started a live with Orbod and Livingness on Facebook, Theta Alliance. I will be explaining more things. I think YouTube is better. I don't know, maybe I should do 15 minutes. Let's see if that uploads on YouTube. But let me right cut to the chase and start reading some stuff from Orbord and Livingness, a lecture that was given by LRH in April 1965, and it's on only on St. Hill course, St. Hill special briefing course, and a serum member has to do that. Orbord and Livingness. Well, he explains that this is a very important thing, that is a refined Orbord he has spoken about of an old galactic civilization. I'm reading bits and pieces out of, the lecture and the transcript, trying to make it brief. And I haven't prepared myself. I can do many videos, not lives, on YouTube, and whoever wants to see them can see them. Well, I'm reading some stuff. As I said, I'm not prepared. I should know the whole reference, but I do not. So, alright, style. Matter of fact, practically every government of this planet has fallen on its head before it was even heard of. They go up and vanish so quick that history is practically unable to keep track of them. I'll bet you, just yesterday, just the other day, 1500 BC, before Christ, you cannot tell me the primary civilization which was in you want to say existence. That's right, I thought you couldn't. You couldn't know what government was in power in Europe and the Middle East in 1500 BC. You see? Actually, 1500 BC, okay, I'm not going to comment, but the ancient Greek civilization was there. You see, just that little tiny span of time. What is that? 3,500 years. You don't even remember. Temporary, makeshift, didn't understand. Nobody had even been to school about Orbors, didn't know anything about it. And since he is saying, I'm going to do 15 minutes so I can see if it uploads on YouTube. And see, since he's saying these nice things, nobody had ever been to school about Orbors, didn't know anything about it. I just wonder if anybody has been to school about Orbors lately. like for the past 60 years that LRH has been around. Oh, Theo, shut up. Now, actually, there have been lots of schools about org boards. They didn't have Scientology, but they did have org boards. There have been some of the wildest org boards that have ever been invented. Don't consider the United States Army has any org board. It doesn't. Well, wow. That's, well, that's 60 years ago, huh? Okay, maybe now it does. Armies don't have org boards. They have command charts. HMPH exclamation point. You want to see the picture of a suppressive person? Look at an org board of a military organization. It goes commanding general, adjutants, however it's pronounced, officers, nobodies. Every place except the Mexican Army. And that has commanding generals, and that's all. I remember that. It'll be like our city offices using this board for the first time, and it look like the Mexican Army because everybody will be top brass, 2 ranks of top brass. Now, our org board is erected to stay there and therefore has been worked out very carefully against various known philosophic principles, so that it is itself a philosophic machine. In a very short time, you're going to see this org board in a comm center. Yeah, I guess people have seen that, where the public is able to walk by it, become a jump spot. I can assure you it's going to become a jump spot, and you're going to get little dispatches from communicators saying, can we put the org board behind a door or something so we can get some work done? LRH, painting a picture, okay? No, that isn't the thing to do. It's just make the comm center bigger. You see? Elementary. And just put a duplicate board in there the public can stand in front of and say on it. Don't look at this board, look at that one, so as to get them out of the road, because you're not going to be able to keep people off of this board. Yeah, right. Okay. You're not going to, let me read this again. You're not going to be able to keep people off of this board. Ron, what are you talking about? Bullshit. People have not understood the org board, and I will try to explain it through Theta Alliance and my YouTube videos. But you were wrong in some things. Because, okay, it was a little bit hyperbolic and superfluous, or whatever it's called in English. The wording, you're not gonna be able to keep people off of this board. Of course, if you're talking about sentient people, but we're not talking about sentient people here. We're talking about broken pieces. Am I in the game or am I not in the game? You know that in 1965. Now we have 2025. 26 actually. So 61 years ago. There's a great difference. Okay, I continue. I got about 5 minutes. That sounds very funny, very funny. How come an organization board could suddenly move up into such prominence? Well, you'll see before this lecture is over. Yeah, okay, I'm putting up comments, so I make it a little bit more palatable. Maybe it's not even. You'll see this before this lecture is over. People haven't seen anything in 65 years now. Sorry, 61. Nothing. They don't know of your lecture, Orgborn and Leviness. They never studied it. Maybe they never will. And there's a little Theo, a small Theo, who just applied it in the central files of ASO in his life after the Sea Org, and he saw that this Orgborn works. But who else has applied it, much less understood it? Or the contrary? Okay, 4 minutes left. Now, the main thing to know about these things is a command chart is only one tiny 2-bit little function. That's a minor function of an organization chart, because an organization chart must take care of